All right, this is going to be video response for a question, and it's just too much to type. I don't normally do this. I see a lot of people do, but I don't even know where to look on this camera, so it doesn't look crazy. So if I look crazy, that's why. I don't know where to look. Anyways, the question itself will reveal itself as I go. Doesn't matter right now because it's just a basic philosophy. And right off the bat, none of this is my philosophy. I've learned it all from fantastic teachers and mentors that I've had throughout the years. And so if it fails, it's on me, not on the philosophy itself. So I think it might have value later on. That's another reason why I want to make a videotape. The rest of it will just become apparent as I go. So, all right, Jen, here we go. Three parts. All three are going to revolve back around each other. By the end of it, it'll become redundant. So I'll just get into it. So the question is on art, standards in art, basically. But another further question came, and I don't have it in front of me, but the basic gist of it was, how come in some forms, and the one top one that I remember was ice skating. Why do we have standards for ice skating that can be judged? Like Olympic quality, something like that. So I'm going to come back to that in point 3. I'm just going to get started. So part 1, I got to check something, is on archetypes. So give me 1 second. So to start out with, if I said 2 different types of archetypes, like a wealthy oil tycoon. So you just, generalities, of course, are not good. There could be all kinds of different wealthy tycoons. But if I gave you these 2 people, wealthy oil tycoon and surfer dude. So I just told you, hey, this guy's a surfer dude. I know this guy is a surfer dude, and we're going to go to lunch with him. Or I know this other guy. He's a wealthy oil tycoon. We're going to go to dinner. So there would be certain things that you sort of associate with that archetype. And so what we're talking about is artists. So there are some certain generalities, of course, totally different, but of artistic people. I'll leave it at that for now, other than just to say there's a certain creativity. They're creatives, creative people, maybe a little more than average or normal. And I'm going to call it a certain creative irreverence to rules, standards, norms, just in general. When you think of an artist, for now, we'll just take that as a basic archetype, that there is an element of what I'll call creative irreverence to many artists. We'll just say many. So that's part 1. Part 2, I'm going to talk about rain. And so in this case, is going to be rain, art and rain. It's kind of like, I guess, a parable. But the question is rain good or bad? Okay, that's it. Is rain good or bad? And so that's the beginning. And there's many levels of bending reality, altering reality, manipulating, and things that we're not even going to get into. But just at the base of, is rain good or bad? That's where we start. And we're going to have 2 frames, 2 picture frames. And in the first frame, we have a bride. And so her wedding is tomorrow, and the forecast is for rain. And we're going to ask her if rain is good or bad. And the problem is, or her problem is here, that it's an outdoor wedding. And she's booked the venue, paid for the venue, or family or whoever, and the guests are on the way, the food is prepared, there's outdoor umbrellas, lighting, the band, everything. And in this case, you can't move it indoors. Everyone's on the way. There's people flying in from across the country. And it's going to rain on our wedding all day. And so we'll ask her, is rain good or bad? And she says, it's a fucking disaster. It's horrible. Rain is horrible. It's going to ruin my wedding. It's going to ruin everything. And so it's bad. Rain is bad. And so the second frame, though, is a farmer. And you probably can see where it's going already. But if he doesn't get rain in the next 3 days, he might lose everything. Crops gone, Kids might not get school supplies, might lose the farm, the entire farm. It's hard to say. But rain does come tomorrow, so it rains, and everything's saved. Crops are saved. So is rain good or bad? And we ask him, and it's phenomenal. It's better than good. It's the best thing ever. And so already right away, the rain isn't good or bad. It's not about the rain. It's about the frame, or the in this case, the person we're going to ask, the situation, who's viewing the rain, what is their circumstance. And so part 3 comes straight back into that, which is the question that made it to me a more philosophical question than just a question of standards in art in this case, but it applies to anything, many things. And so directly to the ice skater. So we go into the Olympics, and the first frame is the Olympics, and the judges are there, and the skater skates, and this is like, I don't know how they judge it, 10.0, 4 stars or whatever, gold medal. They use all the metrics and standards that the judges do, and they determine that this performance, by far the best performance of the day, gold medal without a question. And so we go to the judges and ask them, was that skating? Yeah, of course. Not only was it skating, it was the best ice skating we've seen of the entire Olympics this year, maybe in the last 3 Olympics, maybe. Fantastic skating. And so these are the criteria that were used to judge. The judges judged it. And this is the framework that you were asking about. Like, how is it possible that there is this basic framework to judge this by? And there is. But then again, there isn't. Because here's why. In a different frame is a 7-year-old girl with a little pink jacket and little tiny ice skates, and her dad's videotaping her, and she's falling down. It's a disaster, and the grandparents are there, and they're all having a laugh, and the girl's having so much fun, and she's falling down, and she's sliding around on the ice. She maybe skates like 2 feet, falls over, gets up, falls over, and the whole thing goes on, and everyone laughs. And they not only take videos, they take pictures of this and hang them on the wall. Grandparents get really old one day. They're in their 90s. They're up in there, and they're looking at that picture, and they're, now the little girl's grown. Maybe she's married now. She got married on the rain day, but it turned out it didn't rain, or they moved inside. It was fantastic. Rain wasn't even bad. And she's married now, and the 98-year-old grandparents are looking at the picture, and they just, they just remember that day and their little granddaughter, and how awesome it was. And so you already can see, we take the video. The dad has the video, and we take it back to the Olympic Committee, and we hand it to him, and we say, could you use the framework to judge the ice skating? 0. It's garbage. She's crap. This little girl sucks. Matter of fact, I don't even know if we could call it skating, what she's doing. I mean, man, she's giving it an attempt or whatever, but 0. She gets a 0. But the grandparents, there's not a high enough score, right? So who sets the standard for the skating? Is it the Olympic Committee, or is it the grandparents? Who decides when is it skating? When is it good? When is it bad? And so it goes with food, music, beauty, anything. Who's attracted to who, and why, and when, and where, and everything in life. And so it goes. It's through the eye of the beholder, right? Like, who's viewing the frame and why. And so the danger is to put the power in the hands of the bride. Because if the bride gets to decide if the rain is good or bad, the farmer might lose his farm. And if the farmer gets to decide, then the bride's wedding might be ruined. And if the Olympic Committee decides the little girl's grandparents didn't even get to see their granddaughter skate because she didn't even skate, wasn't even skating. And so at this point, I've gone round and round and round, and I think you see where it's at. And so the specifics of it are that we can't have people judge what's art, what's good, and what's bad, because the person that sets the standard could be the all-white canvas painter. And by the way, about that. There's a space somewhere in someone's house, I don't know what it is, that, granted, I don't like all white painting. It's not my thing. But in this space, that painting is not only good, it's perfect. Nothing could be better than that white painting. The texture of it, the way that it is, comes in with the whole decor or whatever, and it is the ultimate best piece of art that they could ever put there. And so that's the danger. That's the little girl. For them, that painting is the 7-year-old girl. And so to have, you, me, or anyone else decide that that's not art takes away their ability to have the perfect thing for them. So as tempting as it is to say that it sucks, because it sucks, white painting does, it sucks, but it's art.